Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast Discussion for Friday, July 7th, 2023. This week has been a weird week. I think many of you would agree. It's like we had 2 Fridays and 2 Mondays. So it's been kind of crazy with 4th of July a couple of days ago. And now we're back to heading to the weekend. And unfortunately, it looks like not much is going to change as we remain in a tropical weather pattern. Talking about tropical weather patterns, let's take a look at the tropics. It is pretty quiet out there once again, and it looks like it's going to remain that way for quite some time. Now, obviously, it looks like nothing's really developing. This is just a simple tropical wave. No development is expected, especially with shear getting ready to tear it apart. Meanwhile, we have a lot of dry air. This is dry, dusty air coming off of the Sahara Desert and flying right into the Atlantic Ocean. And the best way to describe that is if you ever watch a baseball game and after it rains, they throw down diamond dust to get rid of all the moisture in the infield. That's essentially what's happening here. Diamond dust is being thrown onto the field and drying everything up. So when you have this signal showing up, you're not going to have any tropical activity for several days. And based on the latest guidance, well, it looks like the NHC is saying nothing for the next 7 days. And the European model guidance, well, that takes us all the way through 10 days. So we're talking at the very least through the middle of July, possibly getting to the end of July before we see another tropical system. If one should develop, we'll certainly keep an eye on it. But right now, it's as quiet as you could possibly get it right now, and hopefully it stays that way for quite some time. Meanwhile, a little bit closer to home, it's a bit muggy out there. We have temperatures already in the mid to upper 70s in many of your suburbs and over the interior, approaching 80 degrees in your urban areas. Winds are generally light from the southeast, around 5 miles per hour. And we had some low clouds and fog that's starting to give way. Again, fog is created via an inversion in the atmosphere, and that inversion is being burnt away as the sun is rising. On the latest surface map and radar from WeatherTap, you can see plenty of frontal boundaries hanging around the region. And that's where the trouble starts to begin. High pressure that produced generally tranquil conditions for most of the region yesterday is pushing off the coast. And that's actually being seen at various levels of the atmosphere. At 500 millibars, the ridge axis, and you can see it all the way down to 850 millibars. You see how the heights are starting to fall? That's really important because what we start to develop here is divergence and diffluence, separating of the air. And that leads to rising motion. Combine that with these frontal boundaries and troughs that are hanging around the area, and, well, we start to percolate showers and thunderstorms. And some of these thunderstorms, they're going to be tapping into quite a bit of moisture. Now, let's take a look at how much moisture we have in the atmosphere right now. Well, our precipitable water values are pretty elevated already, pushing anywhere between 1.1 inches to 1.8 inches. Don't be surprised if we get up to around 2 inches by this afternoon. And what that basically means is that our sponge is saturated with water, and when it gets squeezed out by one of these thunderstorms, quite a bit of rainfall will fall out of it, along with the threat for downburst wind gusts, frequent lightning, possibly a little bit of hail. But I'm also concerned about weak, isolated, maybe F0, F1 type tornadoes being a threat, not only for today, although that's going to be a very small chance. That's going to be increasing chances as we move on through the weekend because our vertical wind shear is going to be increasing each day with these frontal boundaries slowly approaching the area. So you can already see in terms of our instability, we'll use the lifted index here. When you get above -3, that supports severe thunderstorms. So this is a very unstable atmosphere already, and it's going to become even more unstable as we move on through the morning into the afternoon hours. And also, you could also take a look at your CAPE values. This tells you how much energy is in the atmosphere. And anytime you get over 1,000 joules per kilogram, you have the potential for some powerful thunderstorms. And in this case, already at 8:30 in the morning, we already have 2,000 joules per kilogram already showing up in the atmosphere. So basically it means there's a lot of gunpowder sitting and waiting to be used in this atmosphere, and it's getting ready to be used. And when that happens, these thunderstorms can be pretty impressive. So actually, first, let me take a look at the winds here. Again, we have southeasterly winds at the surface. Right now we have west-southwesterly winds in the upper levels. There's your vertical wind shear that's going from here to here, right? So that's all starting to evolve here very nicely. And then this jet streak is going to get closer and closer to the region, enhancing that vertical wind shear and speed shear as we move on through the next several days. Now on the visible satellite picture, you can see we have quite a few low clouds here. Again, that's that fog and that inversion. As the sun continues to rise, the atmosphere will become more and more unstable, and these low clouds will burn away, and we'll have sunny skies initially. But then watch out over eastern Pennsylvania for the development of cumulus clouds. Okay, and they'll probably spread into the Delaware River Valley. You're already starting to see some indication of that in central New Jersey. And while these cumulus clouds develop, they're kind of like the infant stages for thunderstorms. So we'll kind of get an idea of where the thunderstorms are going to start to develop based on the location of this cumulus field. So taking a step back, you see on the infrared satellite picture, plenty of activity still going on here. Here's our cold front that's approaching. Here's our ridge axis pushing off the coast. And the transport of moisture begins from the Gulf of Mexico into our neck of the woods. And you can see it very nicely here on the water vapor satellite picture. There's our ridge axis exiting out. Here comes our new deep trough. And again, the trough is to the west of us, so it's taking all this moisture and dragging it right up into our neck of the woods ahead of this trough and this cold front. So that sets up the waves of showers and thunderstorms, much like what we've seen before. Just a few days ago, that pattern returns once again. So when we take a look at the model guidance, first I want to show you the 500 millibar heights. Again, you can see not much is really changing. The upper level low stays to the west of us, keeps on spinning about. And while it's doing that, and you can see that also showing up very nicely here on the ensemble guidance, while that trough is to our west, we'll continue to have these short waves moving through. We continue to have this steamy weather pattern because our air masses are being transported from the Gulf of Mexico and the Bahamas right into our area. And you can see that with our upper level winds taking shape and our mid-level winds evolving. So again, rinse and repeat, unfortunately. As far as the next 90 hours, again, I'm watching out for these little short waves that are going to be moving through out ahead of this cold front. I really don't see this cold front moving through until maybe Monday morning. And ahead of that time period, ahead of that cold front, we're going to continue to just see these waves of showers and thunderstorms. In the morning, areas of fog. What really stands out to me is the strong lift, and it really shows up on Sunday. Strongest time period for the best dynamics in the atmosphere, and the strongest thermal gradient as well associated in this evolution of the pattern. So we steadily build up with our shower and thunderstorm coverage through the weekend, and you can see that with the precipitable water values also increasing through the weekend and kind of maxing out on Sunday afternoon and evening with some very impressive totals. I mean, if this verifies even close, talking about 2.15, 2.29 is a high in here. So that's a lot of moisture. That's intense tropical downpours. That's 1.5 inches, possibly 2 inches per hour type rainfall rates in this type of setup here. So some impressive potential here for some localized flash flooding. And when you take a look at the 700 millibar relative humidity, you clearly see this is a signal for scattered showers and thunderstorms until we get into Monday evening, where we start to clear out and really drop our relative humidity in the atmosphere. So first, let me just pull up the HRR guidance, and you can see our first threat for showers and thunderstorms this evening, scattered. Looks like right now the focus is more towards the Poconos and Catskills, somewhat building into the Delaware River Valley. Again, with mesoscale models, it's based on the observations now, so we have to watch the evolution of the observations and see how well the HRR guidance and the NAM guidance picks up on those observations. But you get the overall theme here. And the overall theme here is that we continue to be in a very active pattern here. It's going to continue to evolve with this weather pattern. And again, some of these thunderstorms are going to be pretty impressive. Over the next 90 hours on the European guidance, same setup. A lot of showers and thunderstorms. Really doesn't clear out until we get into Monday evening. So unfortunately, we end up with an active weather pattern. And guess what? If we look at the European ensemble guidance through 15 days, now you never take this verbatim, but you get the overall theme here. It's not changing all the way through July 20th, and really can go all the way through July 21st with this active weather pattern continuing. So if you have outdoor plans, I would strongly suggest making backup plans to move everything indoors when you need to. You don't have to cancel everything, but just be aware of the scattered showers and thunderstorms in the region. So let's dive into this forecast for today, which is a muggy one and will continue to be for quite some time. For today, watch out for scattered showers and thunderstorms developing towards the afternoon and evening hours. Temperatures will rise into the lower to mid 80s over the northern interior, lower to mid 80s along the coast, and upper 80s to lower 90s in the Delaware River Valley. For tonight into tomorrow morning, again, muggy conditions, areas of fog, a few isolated showers here and there. Low temperatures in the lower to mid 60s over the northern interior, upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast. Starting tomorrow afternoon and continuing all the way through Sunday, there'll be a threat for scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of these thunderstorms will be capable of very heavy downpours, frequent lightning, hail, wind gusts over 40 miles per hour, possibly pushing over 65 miles per hour in severe thunderstorms, and also that isolated tornado threat. Temperatures will range from the lower to mid 60s over the northern interior and upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast for lows. High temperatures will range from the upper 70s to mid 80s over the northern interior, lower to mid 80s along the coast, and mid 80s to lower 90s in the Delaware River Valley. Again, this range is based on where these thunderstorms set up. If you get thunderstorms all day, you're going to remain cooler and wetter. If you dodge these thunderstorms, then you got steamy sunshine to deal with and temperatures jumping up into the 80s and 90s and feeling more like the mid to upper 90s. On Monday, the cold front clears the coast with showers in the morning, clearing out in the afternoon. Look for low temperatures to range from the mid 50s to lower 60s over the northern interior, mid 60s to lower 70s along the coast for lows. High temperatures will range from the upper 70s to lower 80s over the northern interior, lower to mid 80s along the coast, and mid to upper 80s in the Delaware River Valley. Again, this is all dependent on the timing of the cold front. On Tuesday, we have a weak trough hanging around the region, and same thing for Wednesday. With scattered cloud cover, I can't rule out an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but for the most part, it will be quiet, with low temperatures ranging from the upper 50s to mid 60s over the northern interior, mid to upper 60s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 80s over the northern interior, mid to upper 80s along the coast, and upper 80s to mid 90s in the Delaware River Valley. On Thursday, another cold front will start to approach the region with scattered showers and thunderstorms developing towards evening, and that will continue to be a theme through Friday. With the cold front slowly approaching, gee, does this sound familiar? Yep, basically rinse and repeat once again, with low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast, high temperatures ranging from the upper 70s to mid 80s over the northern interior, lower to mid 80s along the coast, and upper 80s to lower 90s in the Delaware River Valley. So that's our steamy forecast for today. We'll keep an eye on these showers and thunderstorms through the weekend. And as always, keep an eye on your local National Weather Service office. They'll issue your severe thunderstorm warnings. So just keep an eye to that. Have your weather radio ready and alert. And as always, stay safe out there.